He's in Rhode Island this morning because Jeffrey Osborne has his annual golf tournament, and Roland Martin has to be there to talk noise. Lots going on with Trump.
Absolutely.
Talking about Baltimore. And who you got with us this morning, Roland?
Tom Jones, civil guy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Certainly want to shout out the Cincinnati Music Festival. Tom, I had a great time this weekend with the folks there. Thanks to Procter & Gamble for bringing me in. Also, shout out to the National Urban League. We had our school choice town hall Friday. Then, of course, I had to make a stop in Houston to bury my cousin, PJ Simeon. So condolences to his mother, Tina, and his father, Peter, and the whole family as well. And Tom, before I go to my guest, also, Tom, there's one thing you should always remember, Tom Joyner. Kings never were the same things as their subjects, especially court jesters.
Now, shall we move on?
Now, the king can go ahead with today's conversation. Over the weekend, Donald Trump, of course, decided to have something to attack Congressman Elijah Cummings by saying that he represents a rash district that, frankly, no human would want to live there. This morning, he wakes up, sees a photo, or sent a photo because, he can't search anything on Twitter. Reverend Al Sharpton saying he was headed to Baltimore. Now he's attacking Reverend Al Sharpton. Really what you have here is somebody who simply is trying to gin up his white base in order to get them to come out and vote in 2020. Joining us right now is the mayor of Baltimore, Bernard Young. Mayor Young, good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I understand it's Tom, Guy, and Roland.
Yes.
Tom is here, Guy's here, and Sybil's here.
Wilkes.
Tom is in Miami. We're doing great. We're doing great, Mayor. So I got to ask you this here, first of all. The president decides to attack Baltimore. Then his chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, goes on television and wants to attack by saying, the poverty rate as well. What do you make of this childish behavior by the man sitting in the Oval Office, who I can't even call president because of his just ridiculous behavior?
Well, the president of the United States of America is the most powerful elected official in the land. They say with great power and comes great responsibility. Really, the president should be looking for ways to be helpful to cities just like Baltimore. But instead, he uses considerable power to mock out representatives to Congress and to put down a great city like Baltimore. I just don't get it. I'm really disappointed reading his remarks.
But also, here's the thing that I keep trying to explain to people, Mayor. He also represents the people of Baltimore.
Absolutely. And his son-in-law is one of the biggest slumlords in the city of Baltimore.
Slow down. Let's back up, put it in reverse. Did you just say that his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who is his top aide, is one of the biggest slumlords in Baltimore?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. Which contribute to some of the problems we have in Baltimore.
I also, Mayor, when I look at the comments that he had to make as well, last I checked, this is the man who touts his opportunity zones, and I thought those opportunity zones were supposed to be just like this.
Well, to be honest with you, his opportunity zones haven't produced much of anything. And not only that.
And in fact, Mayor, didn't I see a story from ProPublica that a billionaire was granted an opportunity zone there in Baltimore that didn't even actually qualify for the program?
I heard that, but I'm not sure whether that's factual. But I did hear that.
Well, ProPublica,
and that's what most people in Baltimore were concerned about, that the folk who really, really needed to get those opportunity grants would not get it for the well-connected folk who had the wherewithal to be able to get those opportunity grants. But let me say this to you. Baltimore was just awarded $125 million to help us expand our Howard Street Tunnel, and we're more than $100 million short. The federal government just said no and just gave us the 125 million when they know when they really knew we need 225 million. So, Mr. Trump, if you want to help us, give us what we need so that we can be the city that you want us to be. And we can be that city if you help us out. Look, we have unfunded mandates from the EPA where a poor city like Baltimore have to continue to raise its water rates to fix our aging infrastructure. And we're not the only city. There are other cities with these infrastructures that's over 100 years old.
Sybil?
Mr. Mayor, in terms of what you have said, have you heard from the White House in response to what you and all of the fine folks who responded in the Baltimore Sun and what have you said yesterday and over the weekend? Have you heard anything from them yet?
Haven't heard anything from them. What I'd like to hear from them is, hey, Mr. Mayor, what is it that we can do in the White House to help move the city forward? And I would tell them, give us funding for our infrastructure. Give us money for our people who really need it so that they can have a decent life. I mean, he's talking about cutting the SNAP program,
right,
the food stamp program, housing programs. And what do he expect when he do all that?
And when you talk about Jared Kushner, can you be a little bit more specific about the slumlord tag that has been placed on him in terms of the properties that he has there in Baltimore?
Well, some of his properties are substandard. We hear this from people who live in his projects. I mean, his housing. And it's not just in Baltimore. I think he also has some in the county as well.
Yes.
So I can't expound on something that I really have not seen, but I'm just saying what I'm hearing from people who are living in his housing. I mean, they have even taken him to court.
Right.
And Mr. Mayor,
And in fact, if I can jump in real quick, the Jared Kushner owns more than a dozen apartment complexes in Baltimore County that have been cited with code violations, including rodents, mold, and maggots. Tom?
That's what I'm hearing, and also here in Baltimore.
my question is, what are people in Baltimore going to do? Are people in Baltimore going to go in the streets and start protesting?
I would hope, but I doubt it, but I would hope that they would. Some people in the city says that the president is absolutely correct. And I'm not going to downplay that we don't have problems in Baltimore with murders and with people throwing trash everywhere, and they're doing it because they have lost hope. And I'm trying to instill that hope. And then we get a president to come on and talk about is rat-infested and crime-ridden. We're no different from any other American city where we have been neglected from federal resources.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Bottom line is, to deal with Donald Trump, you got to mobilize, organize, and vote.
Amen.
At the end of the day.
Yes.
Mayor Young, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
God bless Baltimore.